Welcome to the channel. I'm Tony the Technician. Today we're going to be going back into the GR86 and we're going to be installing the rear lower control arms. I picked up the set from SPL, but it's basically the same process for any brand that you choose. Now, the adjustability, that's going to really be the difference. The reason I went with SPL is because of their build quality as well as their adjustments, not just on the camber, but also on the mounting locations for like the sway bar end link and the coilover. I think that's a really cool adjustment point there. Not all of them have that. There are a few brands out there, like Veris was another big one that I was considering, and a couple others. But they're all going to range from basically $300. You might be able to find some around $250 or so, all the way up to almost $1,000. These are definitely on the higher end. Now, the first ones that they had for the first gen of these cars were very reliable. They did a revision kind of around the same time that the second gens came out, and people were having issues with how much material was between the mounting location and the edge of the lower control arm. They were having some distortion there. So people were having issues with the ends cracking off, and SPL has gone through and did another revision. This was a while back. So there is definitely way more material there where it's needed, and these things have been beefed up. So I haven't heard of any known issues ever since the revision has been made. So I'm going to show you guys the lower control arms, the hardware, and then we'll get them installed. I'll also let you know kind of what tools you'll need in order to do this job. But if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, please feel free to drop a comment down below. I'll do my best to answer it for you guys. We'll have some coilovers coming, rear sway bar, end links, toe arms, a lot of other stuff for the suspension as well, but today we're going to be focusing on the lower control arms. Another thing I want to mention is before you go torquing, doing your final torque on any of these fasteners, you want to make sure you have it at ride height so you're not having any binding or anything like that. So you can snug them up while you have the car lifted, but before you do your final torque and get anything tight, before you put any excess pressure on any of the bushings, you want to make sure that it's all at ride height. So just keep that in mind. But let's go ahead and take a real quick look at the product, and then we'll go ahead and get it installed. So here is the rear lower control arms from SPL. One thing I wish, which is very minor, is their brand logo. If you're going to put it on there, maybe put them on opposite sides, because for both lower control arms, the logo is just on one side. So when you're looking at the rear of the car, you'll see one logo on one side, and then the other side you won't. So that's kind of weird. Either put it on both sides or make sure you send out sets with the logo on the proper side. But here, I believe where the coilover or strut assembly mounts to, the material was a lot less. The holes were really close together. They were also really close to the edge. As you can see, they've definitely added a lot more material. They've also changed the shape of these kind of weight reduction holes here and beefed that up. So definitely a big improvement over the, I guess, second revision or the second version that they had available. And then I believe the first version had 3 of these blue anodized screws on the control arm portion and then 1 out here on the locking sleeve. But it has been reduced to 2, so just keep that in mind. Overall, really, really nice quality. And there you can see the adjustments for the sway bar end links as well as the coilovers. And then this side will be on the inside of the car. This side will be towards the outside. And then they do provide hardware for everything except for your coilover. So you have 4 of the larger fasteners, which is going to be a 19 and 18 millimeter. 19 on the bolt side, 18 on the nut side, and this may vary depending on when you purchase yours. I'm not 100% sure, but that's what mine are, 19 and 18. And then you also get a smaller fastener for the sway bar end links. That is going to be a 17 and 15 millimeter for those. And if I remember correctly, the larger ones get torqued to 59 foot-pounds. The smaller ones for the sway bar end links are 25 foot-pounds. And then I'll get the specs for these once we go to install them, but these are going to be 3/16 Allen heads. Overall, really nice build quality. Just a little spendy, but we'll go ahead and get these installed. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, once again, feel free to drop a comment down below. Let's go ahead and get the car in the air. Okay, so we got the car up in the air and we can see the rear lower control arms now. We're on the driver's side. You have your outer, your strut assembly or coilover. I'm still factory, waiting on the coilovers to show up. Sway bar end link and the inner. So the inner here and here, both front and back, bolt and nut side, are going to be 17 millimeter. And then the sway bar end link is going to be 14 millimeter, both front and back for factory. But let's go ahead and get these removed. So we're going to start off by removing the 14 millimeter sway bar end link, and then we'll move to the lower mount for the shock. Now that we have these two out, we will actually move to the inner fastener over here. And then we'll move to the final 17 millimeter. This one you may need a wrench on. It'll be a little easier that way. And now it is free. So what I'm doing now is I am adjusting the new lower control arms to the same length as the factory, just until after I get the coilovers. Once I get all the suspension installed, then we'll take it and get it aligned. But what I'm using is a 3/8 extension to pass through the end holes. I was trying to use a 3/8 extension on this end, but the 3/8 extension is too big to fit through the spacers that sit in the new lower control arm. So I found this Craftsman T-handle that I have, and I find that it is the perfect diameter. So we'll be using that, but we need to adjust this. So I went ahead and loosened the 3/16 Allen heads so we can adjust this. Now when making your adjustments here, you have two sleeves, an inner and an outer. And whatever adjustments you make, you don't want to make one extremely long and the other one short. You want to keep them equal. Also, I mentioned some torque ratings at the beginning of the video. The 59 foot-pounds and 25 foot-pounds, those are factory fastener torque specs. With this, I'll include a picture up here so you guys can see. I believe it's 74 foot-pounds for the bigger fasteners, 50 foot-pounds for the sway bar end link, and then 150 inch-pounds for these Allen fasteners. So just keep in mind whatever hardware you're using, and then once again go off of the specifications for the new lower control arms, because the bolts are a different grade as well as the material that you're going through. So I'm just going to go ahead and make adjustments, and then I'll show you what this looks like. And I'm basically just going to line it up to where I can feed this through both so they're the same length. I have them adjusted, as you can see, perfectly lined up, and you can see, well, it's hard to see here, but we have threads here and here, roughly the same. And then I rotated this sleeve to the bottom because that's going to face the bottom of the car, or that'll be towards the ground, so it'll be easier to access, just in case I don't want it tucked up inside the framing. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to go ahead and tighten these guys down. Keep in mind these get set to 150 inch-pounds. So do not over tighten these. So we have our torque wrench set to 150 inch-pounds for the 3/16 Allen fasteners. I'm going to get this all snugged up so this doesn't move, and then we'll get it put in the car when I get my new wheels, tires, coilovers, all of that, and we lower the car. Then we can make adjustments to this for the camber that we'll need. Okay, my apologies. I actually looked at the instructions and it shows them reusing the factory subframe bolt, so we'll be using this one over again, and then we'll be using the provided fastener for the end link, the shock, and the knuckle side. So we'll start with the inside, and you always go from front to rear, especially when it comes to suspension stuff. And I'm just kind of snugging this up, not making it tight or anything like that. So we still have free movement here, especially since it's on just metal spacers and it's a spherical rod end. The ones we want to worry about are the ones with the rubber bushings. You don't want to be binding on those. The top middle holes for both locations, the end link and the shock, are going to be the closest to the factory. And then looking at the instructions, you can see where moving the sway bar end link will adjust basically how the sway bar acts as far as its thickness or stiffness. And then same thing with the angle for the shock. And then the smaller fastener for the sway bar end link. Not too long from now, we'll be replacing all of these again anyways. And then over here, as you can see, we're not lined up. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my jack and we're gonna lift it into place. And then like I mentioned earlier, these fasteners are a different size. So you're gonna have 19 on the bolt side and 18 on the nut side. Once again, we are not torquing these down until we are at ride height. And then the sway bar end link is, I believe, a 17 and a 15. Now I can get the wheel put back on, lower the car, and I can come down and torque these to the actual specs. Or you can lift this assembly. If you know your ride height, you can lift with your jack here and get it to your ride height, to where this would normally be sitting, the angle, and then you can torque everything down. They also recommend checking the torque, inspecting obviously your suspension anytime before and after a track day, but also after the first 100 miles and 500 miles, you need to recheck the torque on these. And then once again, before and after every track day, and not just checking the torque on these, you also need to inspect your suspension. Basically all your components is always a good idea. But these are torqued to 74 foot-pounds, and the sway bar end link torqued to 50 foot-pounds. And we have this one torqued to the factory spec of 59 foot-pounds. And now I'll go ahead and get the other side done exact same way. So here we have both sides done. Wheels reinstalled, everything's torqued down. There you can see the other side is complete. And you can actually see the SPL logo. I wish they would have done that on both sides of the product, so it didn't matter which one you put it on. Now in order to make your adjustments, you'll just loosen those Allen keys and you'll rotate that, and then you lock it back down. And that's how you'll achieve your desired camber. So that's it as far as the install of the rear lower control arm from SPL on the GR86. I really hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys did, please make sure to smash that thumbs up. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to drop a comment down below. I'll do my best to answer it for you guys. Depending on what fasteners you're using, go by those torque specs, whether it's OEM or the product sheet. You can download the install instructions from SPL. They don't come with instructions, and some websites like Subi Mods and other websites out there, the link does not work to the instructions, so just keep that in mind. But I hope it was helpful. If you guys haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure to subscribe and stay tuned for more content. I'll see you guys next time.